Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Why they got us cutting up? Woo! Why they got us cutting up? Woo! Why they got us cutting up? Yeah. Why they got us cutting up? Woo! Yo, who you know got a flow like this? Tell me who got a flow like God.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Cuttin Up Talk Show / podcast. We're back again for another great and wonderful episode. And as you learned last time, I'm here with the lovely SDOT Lee to my left. Tell the people what's up.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
And across from me, I've got Tropical Papa, as we call him, a.k.a. Wavyy Jonez. What's good, Wave?
The Blood Files. We here. It's the Black Stone.
The Black Stone.
Hey.
And last but certainly not least, we've got Mr. Rob Covington in the building.
What's up, y'all? How we doing?
Man.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been that long since we got together again. But, you know, when we left off last, we were talking a little bit about the pandemic and the protests and the Black Lives Matters movements and, you know, whatnot that's going on. So, you know, within that hour, we unpacked a lot of different stuff. Mm-hmm. But there was just so much more. And so it was our intention with everything going on right now to definitely spend another episode still, you know, unpacking the rest of that. And, you know, now on this one, I want to unpack a few more things. But you guys are all like, you know, just some brilliant minded intellectuals, you know, that have grown up in, you know, different areas, you know, right. Some of us from poverty, some of us not so much poverty or whatnot, but all different Black experience with all, you know, similarities involved also. Yeah. Right. And our stories correlate at some point or another, you know, so I want to get your thoughts as well as, you know, being Black people or African Americans or Moors or whatever you like to call it in America. And, you know, just get your perspective, you know, especially UTP. You know, you're the youngest of the group, so you know it's you guys out there right now that's out there tearing shit up.
That's the way.
Don't say that. It's not just us.
It's a good thing. It's not just a good thing.
She's like, it's y'all too.
Right, yeah. It's a good thing. I seen somebody grandfather running up in a Walmart, and I was like, what is he doing? Like,
no. When I say tearing shit up, I don't mean the burning and looting.
Right.
When I say tearing shit up, I mean in it for the good way, like you know, making waves, no pun intended, but making waves, you know, putting foot to ass, you know, where you know we just weren't able to, you know. And so, you know, and then, you know, we have, like I said, Sandra, the lovely Sandra Lee. Hey. You know, that's one thing we know or have an idea of is the mind of a Black woman because we all come from one. Oh, yeah. But, you know, we definitely want to hear the perspective of, you know, a Black woman in America and somebody with, you know, just your intellect and your viewpoint on a lot of things. So I don't quite remember exactly where we left off on the last episode, but I just want to dive right into it. And just kind of get back on the tip of what's happening. We were talking about both the pandemic and the Black Lives Matters movements and you know and whatnot that was set off by or reset off because this is not the first time. Black Lives Matter isn't new,
right?
And you know that's something we talked about a little bit on air and off air, where you know it's still really amazing that this is something we're still having to say or that we're still having to deal with, you know, and still, you know, there's marches again. And, you know, so one thing I want to ask you guys about the marching. Black people have been marching since freedom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Since freedom, you had civil rights era, Jim Crow era, you know, and even before that, you know, and Black people have been marching and protesting. Yeah. And what we're seeing is a repetitiveness. And I'm not saying any of those marches or protests didn't have a place. Now, for me, one of the things I do remember we were kind of touching on last episode was about, you know, the differences of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Yeah. And, you know, one thing, and this is just my humble opinion, but one of the things for me was timing, you know, just like with the protests. There was a time, I mean, you had way less protections, no cameras, you know, in the beginning of the civil rights movements and even the movements before that where there was no cameras or nothing.
And we definitely weren't the one holding them when there was cameras.
Well, yeah, when there was cameras, it wasn't us holding them. Yeah. So, you know, a big thing about that is when I say timing is I believe both. You know, some people think you have to be either Martin Luther King or Malcolm X. I've never viewed it as an either or approach. What I've viewed it as, and it took me years of, you know, growing and, you know, get more experience in life and studying and research.
Right.
And, you know, what I realized for me as an individual, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, I felt like there was a time for Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Right. The thing, the process is people gave him, you know, some either give him props or give him hell for his approach, which was, you know, nonviolence. And it wasn't that they weren't angry or that they were weak, because we know they weren't weak, because they were a lot stronger than we are now, because we haven't had to deal with as much as what they had to deal with, and still go to work, live life, raise your kids, and do all of that good stuff. But, you know, he wanted to go nonviolent. He said the world needs to see, because like you just said, Rob, when there were cameras there, we weren't the one holding the cameras. No. So it was like, you got to understand, when we turn up, they're going to turn the cameras on us turning up. And magically, the reason why we're turning up is going to not make it on air. And so we have to use that against them and let them see, if the only thing there is to film is us getting busted in the head and we keep getting up, dressed all nice and everything, and not doing anything in return, then the world is now going, wait a minute. Then people all dress nice, and they dress nice on purpose. That was a mandate. Yeah. Wear nice clothes.
Yeah.
Especially Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, and that's exactly what happened. The people there filming was like, well, you know, they aren't doing anything, so we got to film something. That's what we came to do. So I guess we filmed these cops whooping their ass.
Yeah.
All they're asking for is equality. And what are they returned with? Batons and dogs and fire hoses, right? Then you have Malcolm X. Malcolm X was around in the same era, and he was saying, you know, to hell with all that, you know, an eye for an eye.
Yeah.
You know, don't turn a cheek. The only way you get somebody up off you is to physically get somebody up off you. You know, handle your business. That's what, you know, he was saying. And I felt like they both were right. But I think with Martin Luther King, I think Malcolm X was a little early. Excuse me. And it's not like he had the, you know, the time to choose when he was born and whatnot. What I'm saying is they both came to teach us something that wasn't a thing to choose either or. It was a do this first. You get through that, now you got the world's attention, right?
Yeah.
The world knows why. When you start putting foot to ass, now they'll know why.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like Martin Luther King, peaceful, let the world see what's happening, what our plight is, why we're marching, why we're upset. Look how we're treated. And then Malcolm X was, now here's the consequence.
No.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have to take it. You don't, because there's a lot of, you got to remember too, there was a lot of indoctrination all the way from slavery on up to make black people feel inferior or weaker, or that there was just nothing you could do. You had to just accept what was happening to you. And Malcolm X was saying, get that shit out your mind, because no, you don't have to just accept that. Now, you know, some people are going to get hurt in the process going this route. Right. But it's like any other war. Think what happens in war. You send in soldiers and troops. Some are going to die. Some are going to get hurt. And you keep, both sides keep bashing their troops together until one side doesn't have as much resources or troops anymore. Yeah. And at some point, they either got to concede or they get ran over eventually. Yeah. And then that's who won the war.
So you feel people are doing it because it's, from what I'm seeing, my perspective, I feel like a lot of people are doing it now because it's the thing to do more so than
a trend. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's my problem with the whole situation, because I've been on this for a long time now. But a lot of people come forward now, and I'm not mad at it because it all helps the movement. But at the same time, it shouldn't just be a fad. Yeah. It should be to where, if this is what we're doing, we need to keep moving militant in this form in order to make a change. I was talking to somebody the other day about the looting and the rioting, and when that started, I seen that's when they finally got the guys that killed Ahmaud Arbery. Yeah. That's when the guys that the police that had something to do with George Floyd. I start seeing that kind of stuff, like them actually bringing these dudes in, like locking these guys up, and it's like, wait a minute, because at first I was against it, but as soon as we start acting up, you know what I'm saying, now it's a thing to where, you know, it's a shame that we had to go there in order to get justice for those guys that passed away.
Yeah, I mean, you got a point.
I want to ask each of you a question, because you asked this at another another episode that we had. So I'm just curious. What would you say you are, Dom? Are you Malcolm or Martin?
I
now,
used to be Martin. So I'll put it like this. I've got a Malcolm mind, but I have Martin mind, but I got Malcolm hands. You know what I mean? And where it works, back to the thing I was saying about being an either or.
Right.
I think it was meant to be a hybrid type situation. You add this with that, and you do it in the right timing. Whereas my brain is saying, okay, look at this and look at that and the way things are and move about it this way. Try to do it peacefully. But if you can't do it peacefully, then show them, okay, we got to do it by force. The easy way to that's the perfect way to put it. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King was like the saying, we could do this the easy way or the hard way. The choice is yours. Like, you got the choice. I'm giving you that option. But I'm telling you, there's only two ways this is happening. The easy way or the hard way. Now, what's your decision?
Right.
And their decision is the action or inaction. And you go, oh, okay. So you get Malcolm.
Yeah.
you know? Or cool. Oh, you with me? Okay. We're changing, we're doing different things. Okay, you get Martin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What about you, Rob?
Honestly, I think first it's a bit of a misconception about what Malcolm stood for. Mostly because I love listening to his speeches.
Yeah.
And when he would say, people would ask him, so you advocate violence? And he'd be like, no.
He never did.
But if you break into my house and you're choking my child, I should probably kill you. I mean that's just
Hello.
simple. That's just simple. That's any human. That's any animal.
Yeah.
If you break in my house, so technically they're saying the same thing. Malcolm says nonviolent. Martin says nonviolent. Malcolm says, hey, by any means necessary. He's literally saying, look, I want to be nonviolent, but I'll do it by any means necessary.
Yeah. And to add this to your point of what you're saying, because you bring up a very valid point you just made me remember, where Malcolm professed his love for Martin.
Yeah.
He said he loved him. He loved what he stood for. He said our only difference is there is no, with Martin, it was this one way.
Yeah.
And we're just going to keep doing that, no matter how it, pans out for us or not. Malcolm was like, I agree with Martin. That's my brother.
Yeah.
I agree with him, and I want to be like him. But his stuff, like you said, he never advocated violence. He added reactionary tactics.
Yeah.
So he's saying, as long as you don't slap the shit out of me,
I have no problem with you.
I have no problem with you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put my hands on you. But unlike Martin, I'm telling you now, if you slap the shit out of me, I'm going to punch the shit out of you.
I'm going to eat your lunch.
Right.
Yeah.
But people took that and was like, oh, he's violent and he just wants to kill people and he hates white people. And it wasn't like that at all.
No.
Yeah. And and coming from a martial arts background, any great martial artist know this. If I'm attacking you, it's easier to defeat me. But if you attack me and I defend myself,
that's right.
It's so much easier because it's just like playing checkers. As soon as I move one of my hands, I open up a place to be attacked. But if I defend myself, then you open up everything as you try to attack.
That's right.
And you'll fall as you try to attack. And that's kind of what we're seeing happen actually in the community.
Sandrea, what about you?
Yeah.
Let's answer your question.
Okay, so for me, I feel like I have a very strong stance on this. I feel like we have been marching for centuries. And I feel like we've done the same song and dance over and over and over. And like the definition of insanity.
Yeah.
We do the same thing over and over and we're expecting a different result and we're not getting a different result at all. I will say that I do not agree with, looting, especially in our own communities and tearing down, small owned businesses and people who are really trying to do things with themselves. I don't agree with that. But I definitely do agree with turning shit up.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, period. I do. To me, I'm so tired. That marching. Listen, I've been marches. I was just on a live, just got freaking tear gassed. I don't know, but it was a lot of people that saw my live. There's a lot of people that follow me on Facebook, social media. They saw it. I've been in the trenches for years. It's nothing new to me. I grew up. My family's very militant. Okay. And so I have very strong beliefs when it comes to certain things. And I feel like right now what people are seeing and what they're really reacting to is that, we have this new era of even the new generation,
Yeah.
I'm so proud of them. I'm so
Very.
proud because listen, they like, I don't know what y'all doing,
Yeah.
but we ain't
Nah.
about this.
Yeah,
You know what
nah.
I'm saying? And I'm like, finally.
Yeah.
That's how I'm like, finally.
Yeah.
They get it. They are like leading the charge right now. And I'm in the back like, that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
All right.
You know, like
That's a super point.
Yeah.
Because like I was talking about it earlier, somebody younger than me, they said to me like, man, you are who you are. I ain't seen you out at no rallies, no marches, no nothing. And I'm like, look here, young one. We
there,
did
done
them.
that.
We did them.
Right.
I said, you know what our responsibility is now? You guys are the young soldiers. You know what I mean? You got the energy. You got the you just rockets. You ready to do what needs to be done for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Right.
I said, but there's more than just that part of it. See, what we didn't have before was we didn't have anybody going, okay, years back, like, all right, the young bulls getting it. Now, while they're doing that, when we have the opening, let's set infrastructure.
Right.
Let's we're the older kids.
Yeah.
We can't be out there, scrabbing and running around and being in, camping out for 2 days
We gotta
straight. We ain't
facilitate.
built like that anymore. We did that.
Oh no, I'm built like that.
We're supposed to, well,
I was
built
about to
like
say,
that.
I hope somebody
I
got
don't, know
that,
about,
man.
I don't
Like,
know about y'all.
I don't know about
fit
y'all,
in that.
but
I'm that
I'm
old
saying, like-
category. I'm built like that.
no, what I'm saying, I'm not saying like we old people. We're not
Yeah.
old people. What I'm saying is, if you have two right arms, then you're still just as useless. But you got two
Facts.
arms,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
But when you have a left arm and a right arm working together, then that's how you get
Yes.
shit done.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So you got the youngest ones out there with all the energy. They ain't taking no shit. They're
Right.
fearless. I've been
Right.
saying it for years. I was like,
I
man, you
love
think you
it.
got a problem? Something's gonna set it off. We don't know when or how.
Right.
But something gonna
I'm
set it
telling
off.
you.
And you're gonna see about that younger generation.
Right.
And like, someone said to me, like, man, where are the black leaders? Like, y'all need black leaders direct. I said, it doesn't matter who you install right now as a quote unquote black leader. They're not gonna listen to them.
Right.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
looking at us like, and I was laughing when I was saying it. I said, we could tell them chill out all day long. They ain't listening
They
to
not
us.
hearing
At
us
all.
right now.
Because they're doing what we did.
Right.
They look at our parents and our grandparents and stuff. I'm like, okay, I understood, you marched, you stood up for things and stuff, but here we are still dealing with the same thing.
Hello.
Now they're looking at us like, yeah, I hear you, old head, but you guys were saying this and that, and you did this marching and that marching. Here we are marching again.
Yeah, we still
Yeah.
doing
Right.
it.
And so
Exactly.
right. So you know what? And even in the LA riots and some other places and spots, y'all turned up and tore shit up. And guess what? In that city, shit got done.
Yeah.
Right.
But that wasn't all around. And so a lot of things didn't get done.
Right.
We're going to turn this shit up all the way around.
Yeah.
Right.
And so because economic impact. Economic impact is huge.
Yeah.
If you do a bunch of marching and you don't leave no economic impact,
Yeah.
it's useless. Why? America's a capitalist
Facts.
nation.
Touch
That's
that
it.
money.
The only way
Hit them
to bring
pockets.
America to its knees is by hitting its weak
That's
point,
it.
which is capitalism.
That's it.
You know what I mean? When they see, oh, damn, we can't get the money out of them like we normally did, or damn, we're losing a bunch of money because we keep
That's
pissing them
what
off
speaks.
by we're not pissing them off because they're being spoiled brats. We're pissing them off because they're asking for something they deserve.
Right.
Yeah.
And that they should have, and what we say in the Constitution is offered, but we're denying it
Right.
systematically. So now we're suffering. We're actually causing ourselves to suffer by treating them the way that we're treating them. So hey, maybe we need to change, and that's where you start bending that knee of America, where they're like, maybe we do need to. And you're starting to see it. Statues coming down. You're
Yeah.
seeing legislation being presented now.
Yeah.
In I think it was it New York or New Jersey that just passed the legislation about chokeholds are barred.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Like cops can get some serious time for
Yep.
that. You know what I
About
mean?
time.
Now, like not right. Like now you can't do it at all. So there's no more arguing. Well,
Right.
he was this or he was doing
Nah.
that.
Right.
Now it's been passed in a law. Hey, if you put him in that chokehold period,
That's
even
it.
if he
Yeah.
lives, like you can face charges.
Yeah.
So guess how many cops are not going to be doing that in New York anymore?
Right. Right.
All of
Hopefully.
them.
And honestly,
Hopefully.
everything should be considered what is considered assault. And like, I mean, because like if I jump up and hit somebody, it's one thing. If a cop jump up and hit me, it's completely different
Exactly.
thing. And it's one of those. Well, what if neither one of us did nothing? If I didn't do anything and I hit and he hits me, and you don't do anything and I hit you, shouldn't we get the exact same charge?
Hello.
Why? Because he ain't do anything. So I feel like that should be a charge no matter what. You hit me and you didn't have any means to. a right. So,
and that's part of what everyone's turning up about. And that's part of why, you know, people are tearing up. Me personally, I don't advocate burning down stuff, looting stuff, and all that. Now, if you ask me, you know, I was talking to my barber earlier, you know, when I was getting a hair trim up. We're in a barber shop, and he was like, so what's your stance on it? Like, would you tell him to stop? And I'm like, no.
Okay, you gotta help me with that right there, because like you said, like I was listening and you mentioned being against the riot and looting, but you said that you would turn up. Like how would y'all turn up but not like riot and loot? Like what is the other alternative? I think the people need to know.
Well, first of all, looting, to be clear, it's not even a lot of the Black Lives Matter protesters that are doing it. Because I love a post that I saw where it said, understand, protesters are not looters. And looters aren't there to protest. Right. So, because think about it, if what's on your mind is to go steal some shit, then you're not even thinking about the whole reason why everybody's even there. You could care less whether you're black, white, whatever you are, because it ain't just black people looting. You know what I mean? And so that part, those people are just hangers on. You're gonna get that. You can't go, hey, let's do this massive movement and then think every single person coming there is gonna have good intentions. They're not. There's crazies out there that are like, oh, now's the time. I can do crazy shit.
Let's get lit.
Nobody will know. You know, there'll be nobody to stop me. You know, you get all of that with it. But that's why, and you can't go, well, if they wouldn't protest and, you know, be all, you know, doing all this, then those other people wouldn't come. But no, then you say, well, no, if you weren't ignoring the plight of, you know, African Americans in this country and the need for justice and equal rights and protections, then there would be no protest that wouldn't bring the looters and the crazies that also come with it. You know what I mean? Think about, you know, how the protests have been shown and how people have talked about them. We're talking about equal rights and justice in people's lives, right? Now, rewind back to when people wanted to just go outside. They were tired of being in shutdowns, and they started to protest.
I said that.
And there were also riots and looting.
And they sent
and
the
it was
cops
a totally
to
different
protect the protesters, as opposed to sending the cops to arrest protesters.
How many times do you see people getting beat up during the COVID protests?
Or even worse, you remember when the KKK was walking around someplace and they sent the cops to make sure that they weren't attacked? And it's one of those, y'all sent the cops to make sure they weren't attacked? Not the cops attacking them. Y'all was sent to make, okay, cool.
Yeah, who sent the cops for that?
Actually, I think it was the city and state government actually sent the cops to protect.
Well, that's just like in Michigan.
Because they have the right to protest.
In Michigan, where you see all those people, predominantly Caucasian, that were in the state capitol building, while the governor is in there and other state legislators are in there trying to figure out the new policies that they're going to implement. And in the very next room, in the main hall of the capitol building, you know, all these guys marched in there with AR-15 and assault rifles and all this stuff, which they had the legal right to carry, right? And the cops just stood there just looking at them.
I remember
just,
that.
you know, they could at any moment turned up and just started blasting the whole place.
Was it the Tea Parties at that time or something like that?
I don't know. I don't know if it was
so.
a particular group.
It was like something going on. But
yeah, this is recent. This ain't that far away. They just we're tired of being, we don't want the governor to take our rights.
Yeah,
we
want to go outside.
They were willing to bring guns, assault rifles, just feet away from the governor of the state, with a few cops just standing in their way. And talking shit, being disrespectful to the cops, yelling at them and all that. Mind you, you're a cop and you want to deal with it. You want to protect the governor and the legislators and follow the rules and the laws, you know, that govern that building as well. But you're also doing this looking at these guys with AR-15 strapped to their chest. And combat gear on and all that shit like that. Why wasn't the National Guard sitting there? You know, why wasn't, you know, things being shown, you know, like that? Why the cops weren't, you know, ramming them with cars and beating them upside the head and all of that? You know what I mean?
I want to answer your question because I don't. I want to answer his question. I want to circle back to what you asked because I think it's important for people that may be listening, and especially if youth are listening, to really understand the difference. And just so I can be clear on my stance of things, when I say that I'm willing to turn up, I really mean that in any way. You know, like, I mean, really. You know what I'm saying? I'm built like that. You know what I'm saying? And really. And what I'm built like that. And like, and what that means, I feel like for me, and I teach my child this, I have a daughter, I teach my daughter this, you got to be the same way you're willing to live for something, you got to be willing to die for something. There you go. So, you know what I'm saying? So like, I know what I'm living for and I know what I'm dying for, and it's the same thing. My child, I'll lay my life on the line with no problem. You know what I'm saying?
Easy work. Sure.
No problem. And I feel like these types of things that people are fighting for right now and that we're fighting for, if we're on the front lines, and, you know, somebody told me, a friend of mine, he was like, listen, it's casualties of war. Like, you can't say if we're going down a block and people going crazy and, you know what I'm saying, and there's somebody standing in front of the thing like, no, don't hit my store. Sometimes it's going to be casualties of war. Yeah. And you got to, like, be okay with that, because right now, us just peacefully being like, oh, listen, hey, help us and pay attention. Please that's not doing anything. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, there's so many people who have like these negative opinions about how we march, when we march, what we say, how we say it. Right, oh, you can march down peacefully, but don't yell. You know, speak, but don't speak too loud. Yeah. Be careful what you say, but don't curse. Throw that matter. Bottle, but don't hit somebody. All
lives matter.
Sometimes you just got to tear shit up. Yeah. Do I agree with tearing shit? Now, this would be, here's where this comes in to answer your question. My thing is, am I for tearing shit up? And would I be with that? Absolutely. Do I feel like it's cool to, like, if they're, because this is what bothered me, right? I saw this young brother. And it was like a clip that I saw, I think on Instagram or something. Yo, this guy was crying so bad. And he was like so hurt. And he was like, I put all my life savings into my business. I seen that. And did you see how he was crying? It hurt me. Listen, when I tell you I felt that, man, and I was like, you know what? Like, that is not what we should be doing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because now what you're doing is, what if he did, because somebody's like, oh, he got insurance. How you know he has insurance? What if he couldn't have afforded it? The way he was crying. What is covers? I don't think he does. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, unless we're the ones like, hey, let's do a GoFundMe. Let's take care of our own. Come on, everything that man worked for is ruined now. Yeah. My thing is, if you know somebody's racist, it clearly, and they're like, F black people, tear they shit up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Tear they shit up.
I like that.
Really?
Black Wall Street got torn clean up by the government.
And listen, and I stand on that. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, and to that same point, let me say this, because I have a lot of friends of all races. I've been blessed that I like to think that I can really communicate with people. It doesn't matter what background you have. Yeah. I just have this ability that I can see people. I see souls. And I don't like when people are like, I don't see color, because of course there's color. Yeah, but I really I connect with people energetically, you know, with our energy. Yeah. So I have a lot of white friends. I have a lot of Arabic friends. I got a lot of Indian friends. I mean, just from all over. Yeah, and there's right now, we have to highlight this. There's been a lot of white people that have been standing up for black people and that are really solid. Like, I mean, they've been going hard. Like, listen, I don't care. I have a friend. This chick is like a corporate CEO, business owner, makes bank, okay? I'm talking about owns big business. Well, I want to say it, but I'm not even going to do it because it's her personal page. People know who she is. That chick went up there and was like, I don't care who doesn't like it. I don't care if you leave my company. Black lives matter. This is not okay. Like, stuff like that. I feel like when we walking past her business, you'd be like, nah, let her go. Yeah. She for the cause. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we need to like start even like supporting those who support us.
Yeah. And just to speak to that, a lot of people in high positions are scared to speak. Yeah. They're scared. Like I remember somebody posted something not too long ago, and then they snatched it down. But I seen it, you know, and it was still on there. Then when I went to go back to try to like it, it was gone. So I hit him up in the inbox. I said, brother, stand. If you want to stand,
hello. I'm glad you did that.
And it was a high, you know what I'm saying? He's a high profile producer.
Right.
But it takes that. Yeah. It takes that because you are, you know, quote unquote somebody, you know, in the industry and in the public eye. So it, you know, because I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, like last week, I think it was, and we were talking about that. Yeah. As far as how historically, and not even that far back historically, especially like in Hollywood and stuff like that, because you'll see there's many black entertainers and stuff. We have, you know, certain kinds of conversations. And they would vent, you know, how they feel like, man, this ain't right. Yeah. You know, Hollywood is like this and that and blah blah blah. But then in the public, something happened, and you looking at them like,
Where's that energy now?
Yeah,
Right.
They don't have the same energy.
Yeah, they just keep posting normal
not good.
stuff.
What happened
or
to your
don't say
mouth?
it.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't keep
But
it.
It's so disappointing.
But it, and sometimes some I understand because it's tough because you really, look at Colin Kaepernick, right? Prime example.
Yeah.
When you go to do something like that, this is the tough part, and this is why our movements get slowed down sometimes because unfortunately you might not look at it as war. But it is a war.
Right.
We've been in a war
Right.
a long time.
A long time.
And when you take that stand like that, there's some of us that have to say, I'm gonna lay down on this sword for the rest of y'all.
Yeah.
Just make sure you do something with
Somebody
it.
got to lay down on the
Right.
wire.
That's a tough choice to say
It
when you
is.
got
It
wife,
is.
kids, or husband,
Right.
kids, and people depending on you, moms. Because when you get to them positions like that, you guys know when you
Right.
start doing better, you say, okay, I can help.
Got more to
more
lose.
family.
Yeah.
And then people start relying on you.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at going, man, this ain't right. And I know I'm in a position, a platform to do something about it or say something about it. But I have to be willing because I know it's a 50-50 dice roll.
Right.
This could be, I could be laying down on a sword and it's not just killing me, but everybody who's relying on me also gets to take that L with me. Now for the betterment, I hope the betterment of my people, but will that even happen? You got all these different thoughts. Like, will it have even served the purpose? Colin, we're marching and all this stuff is happening and whatnot. Colin Kaepernick still doesn't have a job.
Yep.
That's crazy.
The thing he loves, and the man ain't broke. He's got that Nike
Right.
deal. He's got money he made while he was in the league, and I'm sure other businesses. So it's not about money. But you're talking about this man worked his whole life. Because I played football. You start as a kid, and then you work all the way up through those ranks, and then when you end up in the NFL. First of all, even if you're the sorriest player in the NFL, you're the best out of the rest of the nation.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
True. 'Cause you're in
That
the
didn't make
NFL.
it into
Yeah.
the NFL.
True.
Because you're part of a very small percent. There's millions of kids that play football.
Yeah.
Right? And it's only hundreds that go into the college role.
Yeah.
And then is even less than that make it to the
Yeah,
NFL.
keep weeding
And
them
then
out.
you got to go, right. You got to be the best. Every time you go up, you got to end up the best of the best.
Right.
And then you go to the league and to stay in it, you got to work your way to being one of the best of the best. And you do all of that. And then you just decide one day. And I remember the moment he said it really kind of struck him because he was raised by white parents, right? He was adopted, raised by white parents. So they use that against him. Like, oh, what do you know about you doing all this, Colin,
Right.
and you ain't even raised by black people. You had a good upbringing and all that stuff. But he's got even more reason to speak on it than others. It made me so mad when I would see black people coming down on him too. Like, man, what he know about the struggle? Yeah, he didn't grow up in a hood. He don't know that part of the struggle. But the reason why it's even more important for somebody like him to speak up is because of this incident. He had all the opposite of what a lot of us had coming up, right? And then he's light skinned in the NFL.
Right.
You know what I mean? He could just ignore
Golden child.
black people
Yeah.
altogether, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But through all of that, earned all those accolades, went to the Super Bowl, still early in his career. San Fran hadn't been in no Super Bowl in eons before him, right? Now, they didn't win, but still they got there, right, on his back. All this great story in his life, right? And then, okay, so the next year, you know what happens. When you go to the Super Bowl, you get that much clout on your team. Well, then all the best players on your team, if their contract's up, they start getting bigger offers from other teams. So a lot of them leave. There's trades that happen. You don't have the same team you had the last year when you went to the Super Bowl. So it might be better or it could be worse. And for them, it was a little worse. They lost some key pieces, so they weren't able to perform like they did the year before. But Colin Kaepernick got the blame for that, right? And then one day he's leaving the game or leaving the field to go back to the locker room, and people are talking shit and all of that stuff about him.
Neil?
You know how sports people do.
Because he had kneel.
No, this is before.
So did he choose to kneel at the Super Bowl? Or was it just a
No.
regular
This was
game?
later.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but what happened? So I'm building context. So the next season is when it wasn't as great. And they were struggling. San Fran was struggling, so the fans were pissed. And you know how fans are. 1 minute they love you, next minute they calling your mother names.
Right.
And you're like, what's happening?
I know.
And so, and especially my guys, sports teams.
Yeah.
I don't even know how athletes do it.
Yeah.
Professional
Turn down the
athletes.
stage to burn you.
Because you talking about from game to game, so it could be the first week you're the best thing
Horrible.
smoking, and the next game you're all types of SOBs and this and that, right?
Yeah.
And so Colin was having that kind of season the following season after the Super Bowl, and one day he's walking from and he's got all these accolades, done all these things. He was raised by white parents. He ain't from the hood. He didn't struggle growing up.
Right.
None of that, right? Golden boy. And he's going and you think, oh, he's immune from racism and things like that, right? But he's walking to the locker room and, you know, someone calls him like a sorry nigger or something like that. It was something nigger. And you know, it was in that moment where he was like, damn, everything I did, I took y'all to the Super Bowl. I brought pride to this city.
Right.
That hadn't been brought here in forever. Mm-hmm. And even with all of that, I'm a, you know, such and such nigger because I had a bad game, dog.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't just call me a sorry ass quarterback or like, what do you call the white quarterback you hate?
Right.
Just call him, he telling me ain't shit. Yeah. But damn, I gotta be a so-and-so nigger? Yeah. You know what I mean? Over a game, bro? Yeah. So from that moment, he was like, wow, even it doesn't matter where you come from or what you do or how light your skin is or who you date or being adopted by white parents. None of that even matters because this is America and you're going to be a nigger when we say you're a motherfucking nigger.
I'm not black, I'm OJ.
Yeah. I was just thinking of that Jay-Z song. I was just thinking of that joint.
Yeah, O.J. Simpson learned. That's why he made that, you know, that song. Yeah. Because he was using O.J. as an example because what happened? Now, I'm not here to say whether O.J. did it or didn't do it, but, you know.
Yeah, everybody got to do that. Let me look at you. It's funny, every black person got to do that face.
I'm not here to make that.
I ain't going to say what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not here to make that decision. But, you know, O.J. really thought, like, I'm not black. I'm not even a color. No. I'm me, motherfucker.
I'm me.
OJ. I'm me. I've gotten that successful. White people love me. And you know what? And when it came down to it, and something happened to his wife and her little side piece, and they said, you went a step too far.
That's it.
And we don't even know if you did it, OJ. But you're close enough to this that, hell, if you didn't do it, at least we get to take down another black giant. Yeah. Because, you know, that was something that also happens in history. You know what I mean?
They got to add an asterisk. Yeah. If you did something great, they got to add an asterisk. And that's what made Kobe so interesting. Because they couldn't find one, even though they found a little one. But then they had to let it go. And that's why everybody's celebrating LeBron, because it's one of those, actually, we can't really say nothing about it. Like, the boy's doing good. Like, no matter what you want to say is business or anything like that. And something I wanted to say about what the question he asked, how to turn up. Everybody know I love to read. And I love to look at how governments do revolutions, and I love to look at things like that. And I love to look at one of my favorite things, the Sun Tzu's Art of War. And the reason why is because there's one thing that we gotta realize: the best way to turn out, structure.
Absolutely,
structure. One of the things we always lack is building structure. So if you really want to turn up, reason why you see in the '60s churches getting bombed, but not mosques. You never see Malcolm X mosque getting burned and different things like that. You never heard about their kids being burned up. And the reason why was because they had a thing that they had structure. They had captains.
Yeah, the Nation of Islam.
Oh my God.
Whether you agree with them or not, they didn't even want to deal with them.
Yeah, they were like, look, we're not going to mess with them. And I feel like that'd be something that is one of the best turn-ups ever. If you got captains, if you got people, lieutenants, if you got known lawyers that's already set up, if you got this set up, you got food structure set up, you got this. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you can take everything you want if you want, and we are self-sustaining.
We already have our own.
We're self-sustaining. So you come over here if you want. Yeah. Then that makes it like I said with the house. You're not going to come in my house and touch my kids. Why? Because I've already got it set up that if you come in, you're going to deal with it. It's
going to be an issue.
But we did have that at one point.
Yeah, we did.
And you know what it was called? It was called the Black Panthers.
Hello.
They built a whole ecosystem.
Absolutely.
They wanted you to see we don't need you. Not only do we not need you, if you don't want to fuck with us, fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. We don't need you. We're doing our own thing. We got food programs. We're feeding our kids.
Right.
We're feeding other people's kids.
We got schooling.
And not only that, we're protecting our community.
Right.
And not just from bad guys, but you
our community.
quote unquote law enforcement officers. If you come in here tripping, fucking with our people, preying on them like you normally do,
right?
Then you're gonna have to deal with us. We got guns. We willing to get it popping.
Yeah.
You know,
see, that's
and that's why they killed.
It's the balance.
Yeah, and that's why they killed the leaders.
Have balance.
You gotta have balance.
Yeah, and like what they do.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say what they do. They put the CIA on them.
Yeah.
And then just killed them in cold blood.
Yeah.
And,
And
try
then
to
they
make up
infiltrate
lies.
with crack cocaine,
Yeah.
and then it kills off the rest. And then if you sell crack cocaine, you go to jail for life. So it completely destroys the community. And then the youth don't have the older ones to teach. So you end up with the Crips and the Bloods, but you don't realize, no, do you know why we were called Bloods? Do you originally know why we all got started? It came from really something misconstrued that Malcolm X said that started the Black Panthers.
Yes.
Then the Black Panthers, when they started falling apart, then you got those subdivisions
It's about
breaking
protecting
up.
community.
And it's one of those, we have all the infrastructure. Let's put it together. You know what I mean?
And protecting community. Like right now, I know we've all heard about all these people that are being found hanged. Black people.
A lot of people.
Right? I mean, within like the last week, it's been like, what, five to six people.
Yeah.
And, you know, even outside of that, now we
Mind
have
you, this is 2020.
2020 right now.
While protests are happening about
Right.
equality.
2020.
Sorry.
And we have women right now. Have you guys heard of the women that are being shot in their cars?
No.
That's been going on though.
Yo, I didn't know.
that's
I didn't know
been
either.
going
Listen,
on
a
for minute.
16-year-old, I think she was 16 or 17 years old, high school. This just happened. Sitting in her car, white man walks up, shoots her in the head.
My God.
Shoots her, kills her. And this is like a thing. This is happening. So it's like when we speak about protecting our people, I feel like right now we're in a situation where we really, like, this is why I said there is no middle. This is why I get so mad at my neighbor who wants to wave his huge Trump flag. It like, burns me up, you know, and wants to like keep his freaking garage up. And I told you, I really like him as a person.
Yeah.
We speak all the time.
I got
we
people like
talk
that.
and everything, but it's like, dude, right now, you doing that is like spitting in my face. So there is no middle. You can't play the middle anymore. Either you are for me or you are against me.
Yeah.
There is no, oh, you know, I kind of see what's going on, but, you know, I don't like it, but there's nothing I can say. Nah, then you're not for me.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we have
You're
to
a
be for
liability.
each other. We have to be for each other to a place where if I see something happening to you, I got to stop and be like, oh, that's my brother.
Even
So
if
I need
it
to know
costs my life.
period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has
see,
to
that's
be
why
that
they turn
deep.
up.
Yeah.
Like even
I
for
get it,
us, like
yeah.
if you see a woman and you see, you know, a dude disrespected me, we gotta have people that stand up now.
Oh yeah,
let me-
black, white,
like-
or indifferent. I don't
Yeah.
care
Right.
if somebody's about to hit you. No.
Did you see the
gonna get
girl
this.
that the dude hit her in the so this just happened. Listen, I went to this dude's Instagram because I was about to go off. I went on his Instagram page and he cut his comments off, and now his page is off. So look, dude's from New York because everybody was tagging their people. Like, yo, New York, step up, who this dude, right? So I'm like, let me tag my people. I'm from, you know what I'm saying? I got New York people
Was
too.
it on the train?
Yeah.
You're not talking on the train, right?
No.
Okay.
So the dude got mad because the girl like rejected him. I guess he was trying to talk to her or something. And you see her standing there. Look it up, you guys. It's trending on Instagram right now. It's trending all over, right? And so I guess she rejected him for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You know, so you can hear her. You can't really hear clearly what she's saying, but she's standing there and I guess she's like, no, whatever. He had a skateboard. Gets the skateboard.
I seen it.
And
she
knocked
she
her
hit the
out.
ground, right?
Yeah,
Yo,
she hit the
I think I
ground.
did see that.
God.
And how about all his dudes are laughing?
Was that
so you
what that
got
was
a
about?
group of black men laughing at this black sister, at this black brother who knocked her out
Yeah,
with
like,
a skateboard.
that disgusts me when I see
Just-
that.
disgusts
See,
me.
I'm sorry. That would
that's
be
a
the one time
problem
I
for
would go to
me.
jail because it would be one of those, bruh, you
like,
gotta eat
come
this.
on, we gotta do better. Like, and then they're talking about, oh, find him. I'm like, nah, find all of them.
Oh, yeah,
everybody
everybody get
that
that.
laughed,
Yeah.
everybody needs to catch a charge for
Everybody
that.
get that work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
true.
like that group of boys in I think it was also New York. It was like the beginning of the year or something like that, where they jumped that 15-year-old girl.
I seen.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
It was like 20 of them.
It was in the
stomped her
city, I
out.
think,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and they were looking
like
for
that,
him.
yeah.
And like, yo, that hurt my
Horrible,
heart. I don't know what
right.
she did. She might have done something horrible.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
There's nothing
but
you
my
can
thing,
do.
my thing
Yeah.
was sitting there like, how do you feel like a man? Any kind of
you.
a man.
Thank you.
First of
And how do you
all,
watch
stomping
that?
her out like that. But second of all, you
Watching
look,
them
you look
do it.
around and it's a
Horrible.
group of like 10 to 20 of y'all stomping this little ass female.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what did we come to? Like, I'll give you a prime example going back to what you're talking about, protectionism.
Yeah.
Because I have that part of me. I try not to get into too much stuff.
Right.
Especially being an entertainer and being a public
Right.
figure. You got to kind of watch your
You gotta
steps
be
sometimes
careful.
of what you do. But then I got that brolic side
Yeah.
from where I come from, where it's just hard
It's in our
to.
blood, Pop. It's in our
Yeah,
blood.
you know what I mean? It's just hard to, just stand by on some things,
Mm-hmm.
and right or wrong. And like prime example, there was this I think it was like earlier in the year.
Mm-hmm.
I was at a coffee shop. I was talking with my homeboy, and at the light, we were, where the coffee shop is, there's an intersection. And we were outside on the patio, and there was this older white guy. He was on a motorcycle, minding his own business, not doing anything. He was parked at the red light, at that corner. So there was a young girl. She was, I think she was texting or something like that on her phone. And she noticed the light too late. And so she started hitting the brake, but she still hit dude with enough speed. When she hit his back tire, the bike flipped up and he went slammed into her windshield and rolled over the top of the car.
Oh, wow.
Right? So she was in the wrong. Like, she jacked this dude up. Now, he got up, he stood up and all that. She wasn't going like 60, fortunately. Yeah. But it was, like I said, it was enough to make his bike flip back. And he slammed into her windshield. And so he got up, and when the girl got out the car, because, we're sitting right there. So, we were here to hit. And we're like, oh, shit. We see him go flip up. We're like, damn, And the girl, it's a young black girl. She looked like she was maybe like 17, 18, something around the high school age. And she gets out of the car. First, she just sits in the car.
She was scared, right?
Yeah.
She was crying?
I don't know if she was crying.
I think I know what you're talking about.
She was scared, and she was sitting there, and she didn't know what to do. She was freaking out, And this is the South. I don't care what anybody says. It's different in the West, the South. There's certain things that can happen that can go really bad for you.
That's right. Quick.
And that's one of those moments. She's in the South. She hit an older white gentleman sitting there minding his business. She was in the wrong. And so she's going to get mistreated. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And so I knew she was in the wrong. But at the same time, she's sitting there and people start stopping to help the dude, right? So now I'm looking, and it's starting to look like Miss Sophia from Color Purple. She's starting to get surrounded, and I can see her getting visibly scared because she doesn't know what's about to happen to her. She doesn't know, she's going to jail or what's going on. And I'm seeing, how people are starting to talk to her, treat her like she's the scum of the earth, right? And I'm looking over there, and I told my homeboy, I was like, hold on, man, hold on. And I'm looking, and more people keep stopping. And it's all white people. And I'm not trying to say, all white people are evil or bad, because they're not. But this just happened to be all white Southerners getting out. Right. And I didn't know, and nobody, I didn't see anybody visibly threaten her or anything like that. But I was like, why wait until it devolves into something like that? This is the South. Right. It's a young black girl. She done hit a white man on his motorcycle. I said, hold on, Playboy, let me go out here real quick. That's right. Because I knew my big ass come walking across the street. She's in the wrong, and I'm acknowledging she's in the wrong and all of that. But you're gonna do it right. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody gonna lay no hands on her. Ain't gonna start calling all kind of names and all that shit. But I knew my presence coming over there, all that shit was gonna be tampered down. I just went over there and stood over there. I didn't know that girl. Didn't know her from Adam. And I just kind of looked at her like, yeah, you fucked up, but I ain't gonna let that happen to you. Right. You know what I mean? And so she's my presence. You could see her start to she was still kind of freaking out. She could breathe. She got calmer. Like, okay, I know I'm not just fully alone, and that's a big man.
See, that's big.
And so if somebody, I know I have a chance. Something gets sparked. And
it takes that. It takes that. Right. I did a song not too long ago. Well, 2016 was a little bit minute ago. In the joint, I said, black lives will never matter until it mattered to black people. And a lot of people came at me like, you can't say nothing like that. But the truth of the matter is, when we stand up for each other, that's when it's more powerful. When we all come together as one, that's when it's more powerful. That's when our words will even mean more. Just like us killing each other in our own neighborhoods.
What for? What are we doing?
What is that for? And then, so to actually see this now, and not to only see us black people coming together, but seeing people of all different races coming together and standing for this cause, it's a powerful time right now.
Very powerful.
We're standing in the middle of power. And, I'm just grateful to be a part of it.
And on what you said right there, somebody, tell you can't say things like that. Yes, you can. Yeah. Say that shit. Yeah. When you the generation coming up, if you feel like it needs to be said,
you gotta say
that, because somebody gotta say it.
Right.
Whether you want to hear it or not, sometimes the truth is hard, and sometimes it's a young one that's gonna tell you, hey, y'all fucking up.
Yeah. Right.
And it needs to be said, because you know what? They might have not liked hearing you say it, but it sits with them. I'm like, young boy gonna tell me I can't. You said lies, my line, it don't matter to me. And shit. So I care about black lives. Start talking to the boys like, man, I care about black people, right? Like, yeah, you do too. Yeah. What we doing about it? Much of nothing, but maybe we need to do something.
Exactly.
It's a seed.
Right.
It's a seed. So sometimes, if you know it's facts and you speaking truth, anytime you speaking truth, say it. Because whether people receive it or not, it needs to be said, and it's going to
Absolutely.
get through to somebody. You know what I mean? But I wanted to touch on real quick 2 things. I wanted to agree to, I believe it was you that made the point, Sandrea, about, just the different races that are coming out.
Yep.
One thing that's made these protests way more effective is because, and it's the younger, I keep going back to the younger generation, because we had marches and protests, and it's like most people was like, and there were always white people involved. I mean, look at Bernie Sanders and people. There were always other races involved to a degree,
Right.
not a large enough degree to make as much of an impact that's being made right now.
Yeah.
Because now you
That's
look at
the
it,
key.
And not as international. Now it's international. It's starting to get big.
everything you see on news and stuff like that. Look at these thugs looting and is that a surfboard? Move the camera that way.
Right.
We
That's
can't
exactly
turn,
how.
we gotta show it because we can, everywhere we turn
'Cause
the
it's
camera,
right
you
there.
seeing black, white, Hispanic,
Yeah,
Asian.
exactly. We standing together. Yeah.
Right. Everybody's standing together.
That's
And
it.
this younger generation, they come up social media era. They're too connected.
Yeah.
You can't look them and tell them, "Oh, black people are lazy and bums, and you don't need to be around them." Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
I go on my Instagram and show you successful black people
Hello.
Yeah.
that work
Right,
hard
right.
and all of that, and some of the coolest motherfuckers.
I was about to say our culture is popping.
Yeah.
Hello.
Like everything
And it
about
always
black
has been.
people, it's popping.
Come on, man. Our music, our
Yeah.
style, our language, how we
Everything.
speak, everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
So we changed the whole English language.
Everything.
They had to make a new dictionary.
Just like us.
Webster had to start putting like, all right, I guess we'll put ain't in there.
Yeah. Because I ain't saying nothing else.
Because we don't care.
I said what I said.
I know, right?
Right, we communicate how we communicate, whether y'all like it or not.
Yeah.
But as far as I just want to send that appreciation to our allies, because like in any war, I mean, you see our country go to war. What do we have? Allies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You see
that's
any
true.
other country go to war? They don't go to war without who? They're allies.
Yeah.
True story.
Allies are important because what are you seeing now with allies? Well,
Mm-hmm.
you seeing? I saw a beautiful thing. It was jacked up, but it was beautiful because. There was you can see all types of videos like this with this current movement, and more than ever where it was I can't remember what city it was in. It's happening in so many different places, but this black woman was being forced to the ground by a cop. I mean, she stood up all gangster because they were like jerking her around, mistreating her, and at some point she just was like, "Damn this!" and she stood up against their will and she did like this, put her shoulders out. Shoulders high, fist out, and just stood there like, whatever the best you got, you better give it to me now.
Let's go.
You know what I mean? Like, fuck y'all. This is what it is. Let's go. It was on some let's go type shit, right? And so, cop running up to her again. He's like, get down. And she just stood there like, you better give the best you got. And so he starts whacking her legs with the baton, right? So she takes it, like, 2 or 3 hits. She takes that, and I'm going to tell you, he's swinging like he's going for a home run in the World Series, right? Wow. And this is a human being you're hitting like this, who's not doing anything to you.
Right.
She won't comply.
We're a threat.
Right. She won't comply with what you're saying. But what was beautiful about it, in the midst of that ugliness, what was beautiful about it was as he's whacking her, she does start to finally cave because you only take so many of them hits.
Right.
Yeah.
But as she's doing it, there's another young white lady to the side, and the cops are trying to push her back, and they aren't really doing anything with her, and she's not fighting them, but she's just like, why are y'all doing that to her? Why are y'all treating her like that? She's just going off, and the cops like, get the fuck out of here, back up, blah blah blah. And then she refuses. So then the cops are like, oh, because they got a real like, oh, you with them attitude? Well, then you get what they get. So then he takes and they slam her on the ground. No, he pushed her. She flew like 4 feet, slammed into the ground.
The white lady?
Yeah. Then they jumped on her and stuff like that. But and we have to respect them allies because you're talking about, you're seeing them get hit, beat, and they're choosing. They don't have to choose it. We don't have no choice. We got to keep fighting for our freedom and our equality.
Who you tell them?
We can't. They
can just go home
We
and
can't
be
peel
like,
this off and
yeah,
choose to
like-
jump in and jump out.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
we
man,
live this every day.
They whooping black ass again. They turn the channel. Let's put on Netflix.
Right.
They have that option.
Right.
So to make a
Right.
conscious choice, and you don't know what their families think, what their parents think.
That's the
They could be
truth.
going against everything that their family stands for or what they've been taught, and they're getting right in there, and they're saying,
Yeah,
I'm going to
gotta
stand there
respect
and
it.
advocate for you and start getting my ass whooped too, because
Gotta
the world
respect
needs
it.
to know this ain't right.
Right.
And I will take an ass whooping for you. I don't know how many friends you got that would say, Sandrea,
Right.
if it comes to it, I will literally take an ass whooping for you.
Very few and far between.
Yeah.
Right.
So imagine a stranger.
And you
that doesn't
talking about
even
they
look
probably
like
didn't
you.
even know each other. Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
It's powerful.
So much respect to them because black people are not advocating and fighting for we just want a whole section of the U.S. Y'all go to that side.
Yeah.
We just want a whole black side of the nation. We don't want you in our shit. Or we want to run everything. That's not the attitude. It's we just want y'all to stop fucking with us.
Right. That's
but
it.
we want to intermingle and be with everybody who wants to
just
be
stop
with human
killing
beings.
Treat us like we treat everybody else.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you know what? We're really we're the most forgiving.
Oh my
Almost
God.
to a fault. Like,
Oh my
listen,
God.
we will sit there. I have seen it. We will knock somebody out and then be like, yo, man, you all right? Let me help you up.
Yeah.
I know you ain't really mean that shit. Let me help you.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
you good?
We are so like
Man, don't do that
giving,
no more.
selflessly giving of ourselves. And it's like, it's just a beautiful thing because we know this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the allies that are there with us, they know it because they're seeing it. And we're like that. We're not like, no, get the hell away from us. You on the wrong side. As soon as we see you for us, you know what we do?
Bet. We got you.
Embrace you totally, fully, completely. That's
And
how
we'll
we've
protect
always
you.
been.
Yeah,
And we'll protect you.
And
We're
that's
going to
what
go
a
to
lot-
war for you.
That's
you
what
know?
a lot of people don't understand.
Right.
When you have an ally in us,
Yeah.
you like,
Oh
you were
my
there
God.
when we were getting fucked with. Oh, now they fucking with you. Oh,
Lit.
we coming to
We
turn
That
coming,
with
loyalty,
you.
that loyalty.
Got us, we got you.
Right, you
Right.
got
Yeah.
us, we got you.
Right.
That's simply how it is, man. So when we talk about stories of this, we're talking about racists, and we're talking about the negative stuff.
Absolutely.
We're not talking about all white people or all Asians
Absolutely
or anybody.
not.
We're
Right.
talking about racists of any color.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Right.
there's black people that don't like other black people.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they can get it too.
Right.
You know,
Hello.
right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Ignorance comes in all colors.
Yes,
Yup,
it
exactly.
does.
Ignorance comes in all, and that's why it's really
And I'm
funny
allergic
to
to all
me.
of it.
Thank you. When people are speaking things that they really don't know, and they're like, "Oh, you and they," and I'm like, I've never had anyone call me. I don't think I've ever had anyone call me that
Oh, man,
before.
I've been called a nigga a lot.
I've never had a person look at me like nigga.
remember
ever.
Yeah, we're at the
Ever.
BMW dealership.
We was at the
chilling.
BMW dealership
Just
on the
drove
bill, just
by.
looking at a car, drive by, niggas.
See, that's
No, remember they were like, there was two little white boys. They were like, they just driving me
That-
and him
just driving
at
by.
the
We just
BMW
looking at a car.
dealership. They drive by and it's like, hey nigger, you can't afford it.
Yeah, and we said
Yeah.
it was one of those.
What the fuck we
oh
do?
my god!
yeah.
It was that random. Or the one time when we
In
were sitting
your own
outside of the
neighborhood?
we were sitting out. We were sitting out doing. I
Damn,
forgot
y'all
what
got
we did.
this many stories?
Oh my
Oh
goodness,
yeah,
we from the south.
baby.
We from the south. Like
the South, baby.
it's gotten so bad that you from up north, right?
Yeah.
I want you to try something. Go to anywhere there's a lot of black males. All of them, just about all of them, will look you up in your face and go. And you want to know what it is? It's because we're in the South. We realized we've gained something between black men. Well, if we see another
Absolutely.
black man,
Yeah,
we're
get
immediately
that
gonna
nod.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
When
it's
I
like
go up
acknowledge.
north and do it, the
Women-
northern guys
women
be
do
like,
that
what the
too,
hell
but-
is he doing?
I love that. I love like cause like
like an
I'm
acknowledgement.
from
Yeah.
up north, right?
Right.
But coming down here, everybody want to talk to you all the time.
Yeah.
So up north, like I remember going back up north just for my cousin's graduation
You
or
gave a
something,
nod?
and I just happened to nod at somebody. They didn't nod back. I said, I ain't mad at that motherfucker.
Right.
It
One of
felt
the most
different, you know what I'm saying?
One of the
Yeah.
most beautiful things just happened to me before I came in here. I went into the convenience store and it's a black it's an Arab convenience store, but it's a black guy. And it's a bunch of black guys, a bunch of white guys, and an Arab guy. And he goes, the Arab guy looks around and goes, yo, y'all be safe.
Oh.
And we all turn around and the white guy goes, yeah, y'all be safe. And we all like, yo, yeah, everybody. And we all
And
just
everybody
start dapping
understood.
up. Just like, yo,
They know.
Right.
be safe,
Yeah,
be safe.
that's how,
Right.
that's how the world is
Yeah.
supposed to be, man.
It is.
That's how we want it to be.
It's a
Right.
beautiful moment.
We don't want to take from nobody
Damn,
else.
I
We
wish
don't
I
want
was
your
part of that
stuff.
moment,
Right.
man. I probably would have cried.
For real.
Bro, I
real,
bought
man.
extra stuff. You
Yeah.
smelled the cologne. I bought some
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Oh, so now I get it.
was
I
one
get
of
it.
those.
Because
Okay.
it was one of those.
It was a moment.
Yeah, it was a
definitely,
moment.
yo,
That's
y'all
right.
be safe.
Yeah.
Like,
People see it now, man. That's what I'm saying. Like people see, I do want to say this to the youth, if they are, and I hope that they are listening and watching, and I just want to tell them, I'm sure they've heard this throughout what we've been speaking of, that we are so proud of them, how they
Yeah.
are taking charge right now and how they're leading. You guys are natural born leaders.
We've been
Royalty.
waiting
We
on
need
you.
this.
Push
But I
further.
also want to charge you, and I want to hold you when you're going to be a leader. That comes with certain things, and that means that when you see wrong, even when it's within your own, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to step up and you got to say something about it. You got to
Yeah.
protect each other. You got to protect your elders. Yo, like we're seeing people like sitting here and some dude like pushed like this old lady down. You know, like stuff like we have to do better by each other as well. So right now, okay, they like, yo, it's on, it's popping, everybody all excited, and that's beautiful and it's great. I'm all for it. I love it because clearly there's change happening, and then we have allies with us. So something is working. But my thing is, because there's an after. So when it does die down, we need to remember the same energy, the same level of we need to be there for each other, the same
community.
Sense of community. Thank you. Remember that and stand on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Protect your black women.
Yeah.
Like, please protect your black women.
Hello.
Why
Thank
would you be hitting
Please
your
protect
mama,
us.
hitting your sister? What? You don't do that. Just plain and simple. You just don't do that. That's a common respect thing.
It was something happening in my neighborhood the other day, and this dude, it was this old black lady. She was arguing with him, talking about she called him everything but a child of God. She really went off on him, and me and the homies was like standing to the side, and our female friend was there, and she said, "Y'all need to go down there and say something." We all looked at each other. I ain't going down there. So for you to say that, it made me feel bad, because the reason I didn't go down there is because I've been in situations like that to where I stood up for the queen and she turned on me.
Yeah.
It was like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to help you.
Right.
So I need to be willing to step in that situation and deal with that same thing all the time.
Right.
In order to save the queens, because it's important for us to come together and save the queens. We have to protect the queens at all costs.
I love something that one of my favorite poets said. He told his wife, he's like, "I love you." And she was like, "You love me even when I'm mean and when I'm evil." He was like, "Baby, if the way I respond had anything to do with you, I would have never loved you in the first place." Wow. He says, "I'm not going to change who I am because you change." He was like, "Because then I'm not who I am." And I loved it. And I was like,
beautiful.
Preach. That preaches by itself.
Well, we might continue in the after show. It's the after party. But for right now, we got to go ahead and start wrapping it up. I just
He
want
was
to
ready.
read.
He was ready. You missed it. He was about to come in with the drop. He was like,
on the bars.
Yes,
they don't know.
I was walking down the street all by myself. I looked to the right. I took a left. But we unfortunately do have to bring it to a close, and I just want to reiterate what Sandrea just said. And young people, we're so proud of you guys. Yeah, we're so happy that you're here. And older folks, look at what they're doing. Don't let their energy be for waste. You know, there's all parts of a war. There's all parts of the military.
Right.
When you're looking at it that way, help build that infrastructure. Use your wisdom. Reach out to the young ones and be like, keep doing what you're doing, but let me also work with you on how to, keep making infrastructure change and systematic change. Yeah. The people in the places with money and big businesses and all that. We know you older. We know you sitting all fat and happy and got your, your jets and everything else. Right. But also show them, lead the young ones. Show them like, hey, I ain't trying to stop you from doing what you're doing. Do what you do, but let me add to it with you. Yeah. Let me do my part, because it's not just about them. They got their role. We got our role. So make sure you're stepping up. And we're going to leave out, once again, Tropical Papa. Where can the people find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter. I am Wavyy Jonez.
Dope. Mr. Covington?
Prince Rob on Instagram and Warriors Way on Instagram. Those are my two outlets.
And I'm gonna sing your favorite song. I love you.
You love me.
With that purple shirt on.
Don't do Barney.
Barney got shake, boy.
Barney's the joy, though.
That's
my favorite color, man.
Yes.
SDOT, where can the people find you on social media?
Oh, man. I'm Lady SDOT Lee on Instagram. On Facebook, I am Lady S.Lee. Feel free to follow me.
And my good people, you can find me official Dom D-O-M Santana on Instagram. Yes. And you can find me on Twitter, capital D Dominic, capital S Santana, all one word. And even Facebook, you can find me under Dominic L. Santana, or just Google me. Google my
There you
name.
go.
son.
Ow.
Oh, can I say that? Am I too late to say that?
I'm Googleable, son.
Angela, just so y'all know, you can Google me too. You know what I'm saying? I got like 4 pages. All of us.
Everybody's Googleable.
That's it.
So
Oh,
we
man.
love y'all. Tune in with
Yes.
us next time.
Yes.
Stay up to date with us, and we out of here.
So love.
Why they got us cutting up? Why they got us cutting up?